You've heard about the opioid crisis. It's real. It's closer to you than you think. Every day, an average of 115 Americans die from opioid overdose.
The fact is, the opioid crisis might be affecting someone around you. A family member, neighbor, maybe a friend, a classmate, or even someone at work.
So, what can we do to help? Where do we start?
It starts by knowing the facts about opioid use disorder. It'll change the way we think and the way we talk.
It is time to understand. Is it on?
Yep.
The more we know about opioid use disorder, the better we can do our part to help end this crisis. But first, we need to know the basics.
What are opioids? You've heard of opioids like oxycodone, known as OxyContin, hydrocodone, known as Vicodin, codeine, morphine, and fentanyl. These prescription pain meds are most often taken in pill form, and you can only get them with a prescription from a doctor.
Heroin and fentanyl are very powerful opioids that are highly addictive. They're injected, smoked, or inhaled. Their use is off the charts, and the impact has been devastating. They can be deadly, even in small doses. But you may already know that.
So, how do people get their hands on opioids? Two ways. If you or someone you know has ever had a medical procedure or a surgery, you know that a doctor might have prescribed one of these types of pain meds.
People also find opioids such as heroin, fentanyl, or opioid pills at parties. Or they can find and buy them illegally on the streets.
There are 3 takeaways that you need to remember from this video. The first takeaway is this: opioid use disorder is a disease. Although people react differently to opioid use, getting addicted can happen almost immediately. Addiction is like an invisible line. The line is different for each person. As opioid use increases, brain function changes really fast, and the body begins to want more and more. This turns into an obsession, leading to constant planning on how to get opioids. This obsession leads to misuse. When this threshold is crossed, it becomes a chronic brain disease known as opioid use disorder. So how can you tell if someone you know, a friend or family member, is having problems with opioids? What are the signs? What do you look for? The signs and symptoms of opioid use disorder can stay hidden if you're not looking for them. But if you pay close attention, strange behaviors and signs can clue you in that something isn't right. Look for these signs: socially withdrawn, unusual excitement or euphoria, mood swings, sudden financial problems, drowsiness or fainting, doctor shopping to get multiple prescriptions, criminal activity to obtain drugs. When you have opioid use disorder, nothing else matters to you. Not friends, family, or even children. Once you become dependent on opioids, they have a hold on you.
The second takeaway is that there is treatment. Treatment is the most important thing in helping someone overcome opioid use disorder. It can help them get back to being healthy, but setbacks can happen. It may take several tries to stop using opioids. This can be a part of the process, and people should not give up. As you might guess, treatment doesn't happen on its own. Treatment methods can be combined with individual and group counseling, 12-step programs, or peer support so that no one is alone in their treatment. There is always hope for recovery. Which brings us to the third thing you need to know about opioid use disorder. Recovery is possible for those who look for and commit to treatment. Today, when people with opioid use disorder decide to seek help, they'll find several options and pathways for treatment. If they commit, they can live in recovery and learn to successfully manage their disorder. You can learn more about treatment options by watching our treatment video in this series. Recovery is a process of change, a process in which people with opioid use disorder improve their health and wellness, live independent and self-directed lives, and try to reach their full potential. Let's listen to the thoughts from a few people on what recovery means to them.
When I decided I needed help, I was able to reach out to somebody that had been in my life previously treatment-wise. There was a program I had to complete as terms of my probation, and so when I decided I need help, I reached out to that person in the treatment field I knew, and he was able to put me in contact with the place. He had asked me some general questions about what I was using, and he was able to get me plugged into a treatment facility that provided the services that I need, that could deal with the detoxification, to get through the withdrawal, and the other symptoms I was experiencing.
Recovery has made me a person that people couldn't trust and couldn't be around and didn't want to be around, into the complete opposite. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I put a lot of time and energy into her and to bettering her life. My goals are essentially her goals. Everything I do, I'm 31 years old. I've wasted a lot of my time with my addiction and being, I've lost a lot of years. So to me, it's for myself, but I also want to set her up for successes in life. So I put a lot of time and energy in that.
But another part of my recovery that I find really fulfilling is getting to help others. So since I've been in recovery, I've been trained as a certified addiction and peer recovery coach. And I'm certified, and I work with individuals in my free time and coach them and help them realize that there is life after addiction, that recovery is possible, and getting to see that spark of hope in their eyes, and when they finally get okay, if you could do this, I can do this. That's one of the most fulfilling feelings that you can get from being in recovery.
You see, opioid use disorder is a disease and needs to be treated. Once we understand it's a disease, we can begin to understand the person with the disease.
And that allows us to think and speak differently about opioid use disorder.
How can we help? Let's take action.
Help us fight this disease by encouraging your friends and family to take the pledge to reduce the stigma surrounding opioid use disorder. To take the pledge, go to knowtheofacts.org. Find Take the Pledge at the top right and click on it. Then fill in your information and take the pledge.
Now that you understand, you can encourage those with opioid use disorder to get treatment that's right for them. The opioid crisis is real. Let's work together to end this crisis in our state.
There is treatment, and recovery is possible. Think we got it?
Oh yeah.